So I'm sure you may have noticed, unless you've been living under a rock for the past few months, or your name is Taylor Swift, egg prices have gone up a bit this year. Well, it's simple supply and demand. When you kill off a lot of hens to try and stop the spread of avian flu, there's gonna be less eggs, and Americans don't seem to be slowing down on their intake of eggs anytime soon. Personally, I hadn't put all that much thought into it. I knew the prices were going up, but I haven't bought an egg in over 4 years, so it didn't really occupy much space in my brain. That is, until I was watching a video on YouTube the other day. So the other day I was watching Self-Sufficient Me, which is a channel run by a delightful Aussie gentleman named Mark. And I saw the title of his video, Why Keeping Chickens is a Bad Idea for the Egg Crisis. Based off of his other videos, I thought that was a little bit strange. So what Mark brought up in his video was not why keeping chickens is a bad idea. He actually used the video to talk about 6 common myths about why people think chickens are a bad idea. And he made some really good points, but he was coming from the standpoint of someone who is trying to be self-sufficient and away from people. I thought I would take this chance and talk about eggs from the standpoint of someone who has chickens to sell the eggs to other people. Myth number 1. Chickens don't lay an egg every day. So this one isn't so much a myth as it is a fact. So no, chickens won't always lay an egg a day. But given the right conditions, enough food, water, space to move around, the right breed, enough light, yes, they can lay up to an egg every day. This time of year here for us, we're only getting about a dozen to a dozen and a half eggs a day out of almost 4 dozen birds. We do slow down egg production in winter instead of artificially keeping it high. And that's just because chickens need a break too. But if you're keeping a small backyard group of chickens, it really won't be a problem, because a handful of chickens can feed a family on a regular basis, no problem. You're not going to eat a dozen eggs a week if it's just you, are you? Maybe if you're a weightlifting meathead. Myth number 2. Chickens only lay for 2 years, but they live a lot longer than that. Again, there's some truth to it, kind of. A factory bird, yeah, it's only going to lay for 2 years, then they get rid of it because it's not profitable to keep a barn full of hens that aren't laying. Backyard chickens, or free-range farm chickens even, they'll lay a lot longer. Take, for example, Peep here. You can tell she's one of our older hens because she actually has a name. Yes, you do. Peep's over 4 years old now, and she's still laying. Not as much as she used to, but she's still a great hen to have in the flock regardless. Even if a hen is past its egg-laying point, they can still be useful if you can't bring yourself to get rid of them. Egg-laying or not, our hens turn over our manure pile, and that really speeds up the decomposition and keeps it working. And you get some really fine compost out of it. Well, we're a farm here, so we're not in the business of raising retired chickens. We do keep a handful of older hens around, including 2 of our originals that came with us when we moved here, but a lot of them become stew hens, which are pretty tasty. Not to mention, there are some days I'd rather sit down and talk to a chicken than most people. That might say more about me, though. Myth number 3. Chickens are hard to keep healthy. I don't even know where that comes from. As far as animals on our farm go, the chickens are on the lower end of maintenance when it comes to health. There's not a whole lot we have to do with them other than give them good water, good feed, and make sure they're getting space. The chickens are all in the coop today because it's really cold out. It was down into the teens and even the single digits last night, so that's why they're inside today. But even during parts of the winter when it's warmer, not to mention all spring, fall, and summer, these guys are wandering around the barnyard, picking for bugs, turning the compost, just living a good life. Side note, a lot of people are saying there's a chicken feed conspiracy going on right now. they don't want your chickens to produce. They're trying to lower egg counts on purpose, so we'll all have to eat bugs or some nonsense like that. There's no conspiracy. You're just feeding your chickens low-grade garbage food. Go to your local mill, buy something that's of a decent quality, and you will have no problems. Myth number 4. Backyard or small farm chicken eggs are unsafe. I don't even know. A lot of people think that because the eggs from the farms that's right down the road or their neighbors' chickens are not as safe as the ones that come from the giant barn farm because they're not scrubbed by an industrial machine with disinfecting type washes. Well, that's just not true. You can get salmonella from either egg. I wouldn't recommend eating any egg raw. But I'll tell you what, you can get sick from either. What do you think an egg recall is? Myth number 5. Chickens are messy. I'm going to agree with this one. Yeah, they are. Okay, something to keep in mind. They're birds. They're not pets. You're trying to tame this barnyard animal. They're going to do barnyard animal things that include dust baths and pooping whenever they want. The whole key to the chicken mess problem is just build them a good area to roam where you can control where that mess is. In the coop here, several times a year, we have to pull the big tractor up, roll up our sleeves, grab the pitchforks, and shovel all this bedding out. However, in the summer, they're just wandering around where we have them fenced off to wander around, so it's just kind of taken care of by nature at that point. Also, for our meat birds, we have a chicken tractor, so we move it every day, so the manure and the bedding mess is just spread around the field. So yeah, they are messy, but there are ways to control the mess where it's not a problem. And I'm gonna agree with number 6 as well. Chickens are noisy. Vinny, he's messed up the video so many times now, I'm gonna have to do an outtakes reel. Shut up, Vinny, I'm making a video. Definitely will. Vinny! Vinny! Yes, chickens are noisy. A lot of times chickens are just like this. Bearable. But they can make a lot of noise when they're laying an egg, running from a predator, even running from their keeper. Or when you throw a rooster into the mix. It's my opinion that roosters are an important part of the flock, though. Especially if you're going to let them free range. They do a great job of alerting for predators, and they also help keep the whole flock in line. Not to mention, you get more chickens out of the deal if you purchase an incubator. So all these myths being said, should you keep chickens? I say if you got the space and a little bit of free time, go for it. A handful of chickens can provide a single family with eggs, but it will be work. You will have to put money into feed and housing them, but in the long run, it can be worth it. What if you can't keep chickens? Well, you can still get those farm fresh eggs from your local farm, and I guarantee you, they're probably tastier, and the chickens are in a whole lot better condition than a factory farm. Well guys, I hope you liked this video. I know it had less Australian accent and way less chicken jokes. And it's not because I don't like chicken jokes, just Mark and Self-Sufficient Me used all the good ones already. I got nothing, sorry. But if you did like it, consider giving us a like, subscribe, or check out the next video right here. See you in the next one.